Hi, Katarzyna.
Hi, Catherine.
It looks much better now, the reception. But first of all, thank you for letting me call you up here on Skype to talk with you. You've been writing a blog post for our research project's website, Imagining the Impossible, about Solarpunk. And that was very well liked for our readers. There was a lot of readers on the blog entry. Actually one of our most read blog entries. First of all, I wanted just to let you introduce yourself a bit and your work with Solarpunk.
My name is Katarzyna Lubawa and I'm a literature student from Poland, from Kazimierz Wielki University, where I'm on my way to getting a PhD in literature. And my research is mostly about Solarpunk and what it is as a genre and as a social movement, but I'm mostly focusing on literature and cultural aspects of this. Solarpunk is a quite new genre of fantastic that focuses on imagining the future, a future where we can use renewable energy. It's like an opposite to cyberpunk, where the future is grim and dark, but in Solarpunk it should be hopeful and bright, where nature and people can coexist together and just flourish. So I would say that's it. And in social movement part, it's quite the same. It's about using technologies and ideas that are ecological but can bring humanity forward. So that's it, I think.
Okay. So as far as I've understood Solarpunk, it's very or at least it wants to create positive ways to look into the future, to use new forms of sustainable energy and new ways of constructing societies, cities, living with nature for a better future.
Yeah, incorporating what nature can give us in a ways that don't hurt nature. It's really positive, as you said, that we can do this, and there is a chance that there will be not apocalypse at the end for humanity, but we will be able to save Earth and just move forward with our ideas, technologies, and everything.
So it must kind of be a nice field of research right now in this kind of dystopian time with the corona crisis and all, to research in something that actually gives the possibilities of a better and brighter future without everything collapsing.
Actually, it is nice because as we are really locked up in our houses, we can see that nature is healing. And that not everything is over, that there are ways to change our situation and to really bring up those Solarpunk ideas and take action in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a picture article with dolphins swimming around in the canals in Venice, and we have all this. I think already 2 weeks after they made this lockdown in Denmark, they said that the air pollution over Copenhagen, our capital city, was down with a third of what it used to be. So we really see the effects of people staying at home.
Yeah, and it really shows that it's not really just people themselves destroying nature, but the technologies and the way we live. But if we change that lifestyle, we use a different technologies, it all can be brought together. So it's not just a utopian idea that it's not possible to bring to life, but it's something that we can really reach and use.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your way into this topic? Like, how did you fell upon it, or should you say?
That's a funny story because it was by accident. I was just using my social media, Tumblr. It's a platform for people from various fandoms to communicate, and I just found a post about someone being fed up with cyberpunk and post-apocalyptic stories in media, and someone answered in something like, "Hey, check out this idea from Olivia Lewis," and there was a link to her blog and to an explanation what solarpunk is, and I was interested if there are really stories or any media examples, or is it just a theory, just an idea on some blog on the internet? And as I went into it deeper, started searching, I found out there are anthologies. A bits of solarpunk can be found in already existing works, and it's really interesting how much about our mainstream culture, mainstream media, is about darkness and those dystopian futures, and how little of this is really positive. Solarpunk brings this change, but it also brings diversity, and it's a space where many different people come together and show their identities. It's really rich in various materials to research for me. So the deeper I go into it, the more I found, and it's really exciting for me as a researcher.
Yeah, I can imagine. Where is the? I think what I'm trying to ask is like, where is the movement today? Is it still in the beginning phase of not being that broadly known? Or can you see that there's been a development in the research or in just the movement of the solarpunk?
The thing is, we see a lot of pro-ecology movement, yes? And many about equality, about LGBT, feminism, and people of color are being given more and more voices as they should. And all of these things are also a part of solarpunk. So I would say that we are seeing what solarpunk is about, but we don't name it as a solarpunk. I think that the ideas are well known, but the name solarpunk is not. No. So it's fun for me as a researcher to connect those two things.
I think that's kind of true, because I didn't know about solarpunk, like the term, but then when I read your blog entry, I could see that a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the literature or movies that I've later discovered that you call is about solarpunk.
Yeah, it's all scattered around the place, but I'm trying to take all this and just put it together in some order to show what solarpunk is really about and how much of our lives are already being touched by solarpunk.
So if you have a media production that is in the solarpunk genre, is there any special characteristics for this where you can see that it relates to this movement?
If we want just pure solarpunk, there are few anthologies with short stories. There is Wings of Renewal, an anthology of solarpunk short stories that is focused on dragons as characters. And there's also Sunvolt, also a solarpunk anthology with short stories. And there are two anthologies from a series, Glass and Gardens, Summer and Winters. All of them consist short stories, and they are pure solarpunk. They were written with the idea of solarpunk future in authors' minds. But we have seen already many solarpunk bits and pieces in other productions. Solarpunk is closely related to Afrofuturism. So Black Panther from Marvel Cinematic Universe is quite solarpunk in a sense that there's a lot of African culture aesthetic visuals, but also kind of renewable energy used there. This way, this could be related to solarpunk, but not completely. Also, bits of solarpunk can be seen in Studio Ghibli movies. I think authors from solarpunk are taking inspiration from Ghibli movies in a part. Princess Mononoke has quite solarpunk elements because there is a conflict between nature and industrialization. And also Castle in the Sky, another Ghibli movie, has an idea of gardens, vertical gardens that are a part of solarpunk visual aspects, I would say. Ursula Le Guin book, Always Coming Home. There's a society that is focused on agriculture and it's peaceful and it's classless. That's like the definition of what solarpunk society should be. It was written along before solarpunk already came up as a genre.
Yeah, it's from sometimes in the 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very fun with her works because here in Denmark, she has been like a very niche author, and so has her books. But now there's coming some kind of movement where she really gets a voice, and her books are being translated into Danish or republished.
That's good that she's getting even more recognition now.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you see your work right now, or the movement, like in the future?
Currently, I'm focusing on analyzing the existing stories in the anthologies I mentioned. Is it really used by the authors? If those ideas of diversity, equality in society, are they really in the stories? If those inspirations by various cultures are there, or is it just aesthetic? How the stories really bring out the solarpunk ideas?
That's very interesting. So thank you for letting me call you up here on Skype. I think it's such an interesting topic, and it's very much related to the work of the research group Imagining the Impossible. And I think I've seen now also an overload of research about the dystopia and apocalyptic futures. So it was a very nice change to read about solarpunk, both in your blog entry, but also to hear about it right now. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you also for having me. It was great to speak with you. Bye.
Bye.